So I'm in and out of juvenile all the time. So much so till when I come in, the guy would say to me, "Okay, Mick, get the towel, get the toothbrush and stuff, pick your bed." So like I was a regular place for me. At any rate, it started escalating. And the last time I was out, we had a trial date set for me with the judge. So my grandmother said to me, I was released in her custody. And I said, "Okay, Mom, this ain't gonna work. I think I will go into the military." And I was 16. You had to be 17 at the time. So my grandmother signed for me to go in, which was great. So I went in, and it got so comfortable for me there till I kind of wanted to stay. I mean, it's like it became a home, you know. It's like one of the, you know, the meals were great, and had a chance to do some entertaining, and I was doing shows on the base and all that, and that felt pretty good. It was rolling along very good. After about a year, I come home on a furlough, and we go to the Warfield Theater, I think it was called. Yeah, that was like the Apollo in Detroit. That was our Apollo Theater, where they had a lot of shows going on. You had the stars that come in, and you had the contest, and you get a movie and a cartoon. Very cheap. At any rate, I'm there to see Jackie Wilson, my man, Jackie Wilson. And they had the amateur show going on. Now, the show was pretty good. The acts were pretty reasonable. But then these four guys come out. Oh, man, they were great. They had on these cocoa brown suits. They had on the Mr. B ties and shirts. That's Billy Eckstein. Had a special shirt in those days. And, man, could they sing. They were singing they were called the Four Aims. They were singing from jazz, rock and roll, R&B, all in one song. Incredible harmony. They were fantastic. I looked at them and I said, man, these guys are going to be stars. And while I was looking at them, I was thinking about the Apollo, I was thinking about my mom, and I was saying to myself, this is the business I want to be in, show business. I made up my mind then. I go back to the base, and I tell my CEO that I was going to leave the military. I wanted to do something else with my career. He said to me, look, you'd make a good officer. We'll send you to officer training school. It'd be good for you, good for your people, and all that. And I said, yeah, but he said, wait. Why don't you just take a little time off and get back with me and get a chance to make a decision on it? And I said, okay. But when I left, in my mind, on my way home, that was it for me. I was going to be in show business. So, of course, when I got back to Detroit, and I figured I was going to really make it happen right away because I was all fired up, well, it didn't quite go like that. I mean, Detroit, we made cars. It wasn't a show business city. But I thought that maybe something special would happen for me. At any rate, it dropped down to like nothing. And I started feeling out the best way to go, started working with the musicians in the city, and I learned the best players, the most sincere players. And they had the same feeling I had. Like Detroit was a place not for music, but we lived here. So we got to come together. So I started handling the musicians, getting them jobs, booking them. And in the process of that, I started producing some product myself because I knew the best players, they would work for me. And so I started producing some artists singing, recordings, things like that. And I ran into Herman Griffin. Now, Herman Griffin was a black rock and roll singer who wanted to be an R&B singer. I mean, he was all mixed up. And his first song, his agent was a postman. So we have a postman as an agent and a guy who wants to sing rock and roll and R&B, and he was out to lunch. At any rate, the money was good. So I had him. His first song was called Rockin' and Rollin' in My Hot Rod Car. And I was saying to myself, ain't no black station going to play this record. But he wanted it. They were paying for it. I did the product. Herman Griffin turned out to be, later, Mary Wells' husband. And that's a whole other story. We will get to that. At any rate, working with Herman and producing other records, my friends that I went to school with came to me and said, look, man, we have this date to go on the road with Lionel Hampton as the Hamptones. And we had another singer, but he joined another group, so would you go with us? Because if we don't bring in 4 guys, we'll lose the gig. And I said, perfect. I mean, I loved it. Here I am. I'm not making any money worth discussing. Anyway, the successful move of being a producer, writer, and all that stuff in Detroit was not happening. And all of a sudden, I get this opportunity to go out with Lionel Hampton and the Hamptones. Oh, that was great. At any rate, we take off. I immediately called back, tell my wife at the time, would you believe, that I'm leaving. I'll send you some money. Don't worry about it. And I took off the following day.
And they were probably the only professional group in our circle. The rest of us, we would be playing, you know, like doing little amateur shows at the Madison Ballroom and stuff like that in Detroit. And then the Hamptones would come on, and they were professionals. And Mickey was in that group. And I saw him long before I met him.
Once I got on the road with Lionel Hampton and the Hamptones, touring, traveling, I got the opportunity to learn so much from his wife, Gladys, who handled everything. I mean, I learned about personalities, how to get the job done, how to inspire the musicians and the people to work. I learned which ones would be leaders, who followed who, why they followed them. It was great. It was like a full. She said to me once, why are you studying me? I said, because, you know, I'm just learning so much. She said, you know, all right, take it easy. You know, this is not a circus. At any rate, she was great. She gave us a manager, and his name was Barnett. And he was managing us as a group with the Hamptones. Now, the Barnett guy, I believe, and to this very day, because he was charged us like 20%, that she was getting half of that because he was doing nothing. But I learned that the people who do nothing do that so well that they get paid. I said, I love this business. At any rate, we stayed out on the road for quite some time. And in that, traveling with the Hamptones, we went to the best places in America, the greatest clubs. I saw the best lights set, the best sound put up, the way shows should be balanced. It was unbelievable. And it all stayed in my head.